So yeah, that's all this is gonna be. Nothing fancy. The idea is just to get things going, not overthink it. I'm not doing very involved studies or anything like that. I just want to get the hand moving, get drawing, getting my eyes and hands to cooperate. Um, and I'm getting a late start to the day because, yeah, just because. You can come in. What's up, big guy? Sorry, one of my studio mates just walked in. That's who's panting in the background. It's a dog. It's not a person panting. I know it would be weird. What's up? Comes another one. Sorry for the background noise. There are multiple dogs in the house that I share a studio with who all want attention. I was away for the weekend, and so they didn't get their normal walks. So we've been like walking and goofing off all morning, and now they think like, hey, maybe he's not going to work. Maybe he'll stay downstairs with us. So the point of these is not really to make good drawings per se. Like I'm not checking proportions. I'm not even necessarily like terribly invested in like the anatomy or anything. It's really just to like clock where I am before getting started on actual work. Um, I'm both like assessing how I'm feeling drawing wise and also getting my sort of brain rewired to work with my drawing hand to get going. So, um, these are not meant to look great. And it's if you focus on that, it would be like kind of defeat the purpose. Um, with gesture drawings in particular, like they're supposed to be done honestly faster than even what I'm doing at the moment. When we're in the studio, when I'm working with students, basically, the more like rigid they are, the faster I'll start them with gesture drawings and warming up. Like it's usually if the group is particularly rigid, I'll make them do 30-second gesture drawings so that they really like they're almost drawing panicked and they can't stop and get fussy and worry about like whether it looks good. They just have to start making marks. And ironically, you start getting almost more accurate stuff that way because you're not thinking, I'm drawing an arm, I'm drawing a leg. You're just breaking it down to shapes because you don't have time to fuss with it. So, speed is actually helpful with accuracy sometimes when you're first getting into a drawing session. That doesn't mean you like always draw fast. It just means um, quick gestures are often very instructive. The painter Courbet would say, if you can't, if I think if it's a man falls out of a window, you should be able to do a good gesture of him before he hits the ground, like, which is obviously a little tongue in cheek, but like the point is valid. Like, you don't have time to fuss with it. The guy's about to hit the ground. You gotta draw fast. Now I'm using photo reference. Like in an ideal world, um, I'd have a model. You would be doing this working with a professional model, um, which I do once a month with Meritage when I do the life study podcast here on the socials. But you know, we have tons of great resources online now. So I'm a member of a bunch of these figure drawing source pack type groups, either on Patreon or independent, like stuff you can get on Gumroad, or individual websites that just have great artist references for drawing. Although honestly, you could, you know, if you can do it in a way that's not creepy and invasive, you could do this in a coffee shop. Just be respectful, but um, you could just sit around and just sketch people as they pass, or sit, and as long as they're again, like, don't be a weirdo. But the practice is meant to be fast and not terribly obsessive about like getting likenesses. You'll notice like the last thing I draw tends to be the head, which is partly my training. When I was in art school, they would train us to start from like essentially like the middle out. Um, you would get more accurate proportions that way, but also because, frankly, like the thing most beginning artists focus on, which is the head and face and likenesses and things like that, are like the least important. So the one downside to drawing smaller like this is that I end up holding the pencil not quite like a regular grip, but not my like normal painter's hold that I would be using in a figure drawing session, because you have more room to do broader movements. With this, I have to kind of choke up on the pencil a little bit to be able to draw a little smaller. I'll do one more and then get to normal work. Let's see. Maybe this one. It's funny. I mentioned that I've sort of used this time to just make a note of like where I am mentally and how that's affecting the work. And I keep catching myself um, using eraser, which is silly when you're warming up and doing gesture drawings. It's really not the point, but it tells me that like the weekend away, I'm a little off in terms of where I should be mentally with starting out. So when I get to my other work, it'll be I'll have that in the back of my head now, and I'll adjust accordingly. Right? It's a mental part of the drawing, but it's still important that like if I'm in this mental state where I'm like self conscious and second guessing myself, like I will catch myself redrawing the same, you know, part of an illustration over and over. Um, I'll catch myself thinking, do I need more reference? Do I need a different angle? Do I need, like, I'm just sort of overthinking it. And that's a mental thing. That's not a physical part of drawing. Like, it's not a warm ups. Like, I need to get my hand going. It's more where I am mentally. So these drawings are going to be instructive in multiple ways. Like, it's not just good practice. It's like a great way to figure out like where you are before getting into your illustration work and just struggling with it the whole time and not being sure why. I'll know exactly why if I'm like, you know, knee deep in an illustration piece and I just can't quite get it right. I'll know like, okay, wait, I'm having a hang up with like how I am thinking about this thing. So maybe I need a break. Maybe I need to go about it a different way. So anyway, I think that's it. Thank you for joining. Again, my apologies for not writing a newsletter this week. It's just been extra, extra crazy, but we'll get back to it. I'll also drop a new comic art post tomorrow on Tuesday, which we've been doing every week. I usually break down like how I'm actually approaching a page, how I'm deciding on things like layouts and angles and page flow. So check that out tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being a subscriber. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.